Oh man, cannot wait to get this going, man. I am so excited. Hopefully everybody could hear me. Everybody can hear me. Yeah. Sounds kind of good. Kind of good. It's gonna be a little different. Oh man, cannot wait to get this going, man. I am so excited. Hopefully everybody can hear me. Everybody can hear me. Yeah. Sounds all right. Oh boy. Yeah, I'm still coming down from all this, man. This is just wild. Just wild. Didn't want to go live tonight because I thought they were gonna lose. Thought they were gonna lose. But yeah, welcome to Rock Vegas, everybody. This is Glen Rockney. Very happy to be doing this tonight. Got to work early in the morning. I don't care. Couldn't sleep anyways if I wanted to. Incredible game. Incredible game from our Raiders. First game in Allegiant Stadium, packed house, and the Raiders won in overtime against the Ravens, right? Was it a full staffed Ravens team? No, it wasn't. It wasn't. And that's the first thing anybody who hates the Raiders will tell you. Oh, all these guys are injured. Oh, all these guys didn't play. Oh man, J.K. Dobbins, Gus Edwards, such and such. Oh, none of these guys played. I don't care. You know who played? Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson played tonight, and Lamar Jackson played his ass off. Put the ball on the ground a couple times as the Raiders capitalized. It was probably two swinging moments in the game. Really, if you were to look at moments that really swung the game, you'd have to say that it was those two Lamar Jackson fumbles. But man, this felt good. They won this game. They won this game. It wasn't pretty. We say that a lot about anytime the Raiders win a game, it's never pretty, right? The Raiders don't blow anybody out. We know this. Hell, last year, the one time the Raiders blew out a team, and I this is quote like Dr. Evil quotes. The Raiders blew out a team. It was the Chiefs last year. They only really won by like 11 points or something like that. But this was a hard fought win. The Raiders started slow. They were awful to start this game. I'm not gonna lie. Like they were bad. Not on defense. I'm just saying on offense. This is the Raiders' bread and butter. John Gruden is paid $100 million over 10 years to make this team hum offensively. And it didn't start that way at all. They were actually bad. When you look at the start of this game, I was seeing Andre James getting blown off the ball. John Simpson, couldn't run the ball. They couldn't run the ball at all. Denzel Good goes out early. That's a huge game changer. Denzel Good goes out early. I'm like, oh shit. There was a guy whose last name started with an E on the offensive line. Hand up. I'm a crazy Raider fan. Didn't know who he was. I don't know who it was. But yeah, Denzel Good. That injury didn't look good. And then you realize at that point, John Gruden didn't feel comfortable running the ball at all. Derek Carr threw the ball 56 times in this game. And early, there were times I think he missed on 6, 7 straight. Like it wasn't good. But I thought the defense really they were treading water in this game. And as a Raider fan, as somebody who's watched this team over the last as a Raider fan, I'd say probably 22, 23 years. I'm 30, but really 22, 23 years I've been plugged into this team. They didn't really play good defense at all that entire time. Even when they had offenses that were kind of good, maybe some of those Carson Palmer years, some of the Derek Carr years, here and there when they had some good running game, Justin Fargas going 100 or 1,000 yards. They just never had the defense. I still don't know if they have the defense. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that they're going to have a top 15 defense in the league. But I saw plays being made early in the game. I saw plays being made. I saw tackles being made. saw passes being broken up. I saw coverage down the field. Things I haven't seen. The bar's low. But this is what this Raider team needs, is a defense that can tread water and an offense that can score points, right? And the offense wasn't scoring points early. It's a team effort. Now, somebody in the chat, Roland Dubs, shout out Roland Dubs, is saying that they needed a few snaps during the preseason. Here's the thing. I watched a little bit of preseason here and there, NFL Network, kind of, a little late night NFL stuff. I didn't see a lot of teams playing their guys in preseason. It was a weird 3-game preseason. Nobody really knew what to do. I'm not using that as an excuse for the Raiders, to be quite honest. Now, what I will use as an excuse is it's clear that Derek Carr was not a fan of Andre James starting at center. He can say whatever he wants in the press conference. It looked weird. It just looked weird. The offensive line in Carr early was weird. The ball would be snapped. Everybody looked like they'd hesitate. It just didn't look right. And that's something we've gotten used to over the years. Is the offensive line snapping the ball correctly, Rodney Hudson knowing what's going on, blitz is coming. The blitzes came tonight, and they threw the kitchen sink at the Raiders on defense. The Ravens did, and at times it got ugly. So there was a lot of adversity to overcome. There was a lot of stuff that the Raiders really couldn't play through, but they, things that I thought in years past they would kind of just roll over and die. I expected Carr to do exactly that, roll over and die in this game, because when the Raiders were down 14-0, I was like, yikes, this is bad. But the defense kept them in this game. It really did. The offense heated up in the second half. I'll get to that. It was a long game. I got a lot to talk about tonight, so buckle in, folks. Defense kept them in the game. Couple sacks early. Max Crosby, phenomenal in this game. Best game I've ever seen Max Crosby play, by far. Winning early, right? Winning within the first 2.5 seconds of the snap, something we never saw Max Crosby doing. He was fantastic tonight, making plays. Lamar Jackson, there were a couple plays where Lamar Jackson was about to get loose. Crosby would trip him up after like a 2-3 yard gain. Those were huge plays. Plus, he had a sack from Max Crosby. I think he had a couple tonight. I can't imagine. I can't remember exactly what the final line was for Crosby, but he was phenomenal. It's the best game I've ever seen him play. Darius Philon made some plays tonight. Carl Nassib. We're going to get to what Carl Nassib did later in the game. Carl Nassib is finally being himself, right? He's being himself, and the guy's playing ball. Yannick Ngakoue looked like he came up with a hamstring at some point in the game, but Yannick Ngakoue was getting off the ball quick today. And that showed up in this game. They did an okay job against the run, right? So here's the killer part in the game, right? Backbreaker. I don't know if you guys remember in I want to say this is 2015. So I want to say this is Carr's second year in the league, where they were playing, the Raiders were playing Minnesota. And I want to say this game was in Oakland. And it was a 4th down play. And late in the game, Adrian Peterson just busts one for like 40 yards, kills the Raiders, just kills the entire game. Shout out DJ. What's going on, man? How you doing? That Tyson Williams touchdown felt like that for a second, where Tyson Williams on 4th and 1, we're like, damn, the Ravens are going for it. Let's see what they got. They get like a 33-yard run for a touchdown. It was killer. It was killer. But they bounced back. Raiders got some points. They made it 14-7 at the half. I think it was 14-10 at the half, actually. And you know what? Like 14-10 at the half, I felt good. I felt good in that game, because what the Raiders were doing on offense, I was talking to Marcus Johnson. I was DMing him. Tape don't lie. I was like, dude, the short game is there. I don't understand why Derek Carr and John Gruden, I don't know how these plays are designed. I defer to film guys on this, but I didn't understand why everything had to be a 50-50 ball down the field. The Ravens can cover. This is a good defensive team. They weren't very hurt on defense. The Ravens were maligned on offense. They had a lot of offensive guys out. So maybe that comes into play with our defense. But on defense, the Ravens had Marlon Humphrey. He got hurt during the game and was banged up, but he was making plays. They had Chuck Clark in there. They had I know he was Jason Oweh during the draft. I didn't change his name. I can't remember his first name. They had guys who were playing ball. Calais Campbell, guys like that. They're guys that were playing ball. And so to see the Raiders trying to get these big shots down the field, it just wasn't there. But you saw later when the Raiders got their first scoring drive, you were seeing working Renfro short. Ingold, right? First down, these plays to Ingold. I love those plays where you can get 5 yards to him and he can catch the ball after 3 yards and fall forward for another 2. And now you got 2nd and 5. It's beautiful. Kenyon Drake made some nice plays on early downs. Couldn't run the ball. We'll see. Yeah, and yes, I see that. Carr was forcing it to Waller early, 100%. Now I will say I saw a lot of fans tweeting through the game that Ruggs and Edwards were open. I didn't see that. I didn't see Ruggs and Edwards winning against man coverage one-on-one. Tough task against these guys, but I just didn't see it early to where I'd have to watch the all 22. I'd have to watch our tape don't lie guys who really know a thing or two. I'm not the guy to say that. I just didn't see it from my couple IPAs deep eye, and yeah, I thought even that first drive, right? Even that first drive of the game, they had some good plays going, but then you get the wasted plays to Renfro in the end zone, these fade routes that they try to run. One time it worked on getting a PI, but there were a lot of wasted plays. There were penalties on the offensive line, holding plays that really killed them on that first drive in the first half. But let's get to the second half here. Let's get to the second half. There was a time early in the game, the Raiders had a good drive going. They hit that play to Waller, and it gets called back on offensive pass interference, which is a horseshit call, by the way. Horseshit call on Bryan Edwards. That play gets a no call 88% of the time. I'll say that 88% of the time. That little natural rub route, whatever, that the Niners can run whenever they want, that the Patriots can run whenever they want. But for whatever reason, silver and black jerseys, that's not allowed. That play killed me too, because Waller drops the play right before, right? Waller drops a ball, inexcusable drop ball. Waller had a tough time seeing the ball tonight, if I'm not mistaken. He had a great game. He redeemed himself. But early, it seemed like he had that one play where I'm not going to say it was a perfect throw from Carr, but it was like kind of a back shoulder where Waller, I don't know. I feel like a top 3 tight end in the league makes that play a lot of times. Nonetheless, he tried to one-hand it. It was weird. I didn't get it. But a couple times, Waller just didn't seem like he saw the ball, right? Again, redeemed himself later in the game. But that part was killer. And then Lamar starts going crazy. And let me say this about Lamar Jackson. All right, let me rant about Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson's an incredible quarterback, right? We don't know. Yeah, happy birthday, Waller, by the way. I agree in the chat. Happy birthday, Waller. 29 years old, 105 yards and a touchdown, 10 catches. Still had a great game. In my opinion, was the best offensive non-quarterback on the field in this game. Just really got it going. But Lamar Jackson, I'm not going to lie, I thought this defense did a nice job against Lamar Jackson. They really did. What would you have changed about the way this team played against Lamar Jackson? He's going to get those plays. That's the thing about having a guy like Lamar, is he's going to get those crazy chunk plays when everything breaks down. I thought the defensive line rushed him very well. Just sometimes you can't get him on the ground. Hell, he's a former MVP. This is what he does. But hell, a couple times they frustrated him. And a couple times they got him early in his scramble where he was only able to get 2 or 3 yards. And that's the best way you can play this team. Gus Bradley's had success against Lamar Jackson. You look at Lamar's first playoff appearance against the Chargers. Gus Bradley shut his ass down. And, no disrespect to the Raiders roster, but Gus Bradley had a better roster with that Charger team in that playoff game. Just is what it is. He had better pass rush, better DBs. give or take linebackers. I'm not sure. But they did a good job against Lamar. Lamar made a couple big throws later in the game, a couple big scrambles later in the game. That's gonna happen. What I didn't want to see, and to be fair, I didn't see it during the game, was Hollywood Brown just running down the field, wide open, uncovered. Mark Andrews running down the field, wide open, uncovered. The way the Raiders played Lamar Jackson was the only time I saw him really win, and I saw a lot of Raider fans getting mad, right? And this is like classic know the scheme, right? We're all early in the Gus Bradley scheme. I'm going to give everybody a little leeway. Nick Kwiatkowski was covering Sammy Watkins, right? Covering, quote unquote. No, that's not what happened. Nick Kwiatkowski, Sammy Watkins ran a crosser, a deep cross into Nick Kwiatkowski's zone. And Lamar threw a dime. That happened. It sucked. It hurt. But what are you going to do? What are you going to do? I didn't even think Nick Kwiatkowski was like totally burnt on that play either. Like, he just is it. There were physical limitations there. Let's just say that much. And, I thought this defense did a really nice job. I thought this defense will not get enough credit in this game for what they did. And all offseason, I was asked one of my most popular mailbag questions when I would ask the listeners what I thought of certain things was, how does this team compare to 2016? And one thing I challenged this 2016 or this 2021 Raider team to do that the 2016 team did was put the ball on the ground, intercept the ball, turn the ball over, give this offense a short field to where they could score fast, put the dagger in. And this team got Lamar to put the ball on the ground a couple times. Yeah, and the safety play was interesting tonight. Seeing that in the chat there. And yeah, shout out Rolling Dubs. See you later, man. No worries, it's late. But yeah, where am I at here? Oh yeah, there was safety. Trevon Merrick looked like a rookie out there tonight. It's okay. It's gonna happen. And it's weird. It's weird as a rookie when your first game's against a guy who can basically make a play last 10 seconds long, like Lamar Jackson. That's tough. Next week's going to be a bit different. Now, Big Ben, early in his career, could make a play last 10 seconds. I don't know if we're at that case anymore. We're not quite there at Big Ben's career anymore. But yeah, like this, it was good. It was just good to see some pass rush. It was good to see Lamar look at his first read and have it not be there. And that was a big thing about switching to a Gus Bradley defense, because again, in this Paul Gunther defense, it looked like the first read was always there. Quarterback drop back, third step, fourth step, fifth step. As soon as you plant that back foot, they'd know where to go. Then you get a missed tackle. All of a sudden, you have a 27-yard gain on third down. Right? So what I was seeing tonight was Lamar Jackson had to actually improvise, right? And he's great at it. He's probably the best in the league. No one's better at improvising. Maybe Patrick Mahomes, but I'd say Lamar even has that ground, just improvisation. I think on schedule, Patrick Mahomes has Lamar beat, but Lamar has that like insane, that Madden X Factor thing where he can just like, oh, holy shit. And we saw it late in the fourth quarter. I haven't even got to that yet. But we saw this defense frustrate him a little bit, which was nice. All right, hit him pretty hard a couple times. We didn't see that. So the second half, let's get to the heroics of this game. The heroics of this game. So one time, and I was pissed. You can look at my Twitter timeline, and and I was pissed at John Gruden in the third quarter with about 3 minutes left to go. It was 4th and 1. And I didn't like the way the offense was playing. I didn't see the offensive line getting push. I didn't see the run game working well. I didn't see the pass game working ultimately well. I saw us being a grinded out game. And I kind of wanted the score to be 17-13 at that point, right? It's 17-10. John Gruden goes for it, does a shotgun run to Jacobs, like an inside zone out of shotgun to Jacobs, and it gets blown up. Andre James gets blown up on the play, and it was very predictable. Couple things here. A couple of people say, hey, Glenn, I like going for it on fourth down there. That's fine. If you do, put Marcus Mariota in that game. Shout out Marcus Mariota. That run early in the game was awesome. Looked like he got kind of hurt on that play, though. I'd like to hear about what happened there because I felt like he would have got back in the game if he wasn't hurt there. I felt like there would have been some times, but some instances where Mariota could have come in, like this 4th and 1 play. I would have liked to see a 4th and 1, like a jumbo formation with Marcus Mariota. I can get 1 yard with Marcus, maybe a misdirection or something. But that run play was awful by Gruden. Awful. Given, like, read the room. It's John, read the room, right? It wasn't there. Take the 3 points, right? The offense was struggling at that time. 17-13 came into play later, right? Because even that game, that field goal that made the Ravens go up 27-24, maybe that's a tie game at that point. If you take the 3 points earlier in the game, right? It's the third quarter. Okay, fine. No problem, right? 17-10. Defense makes more plays. Defense makes more plays at that point. And then, Raiders tie it up. Waller touchdown, right? Waller really starts getting into rhythm, makes a great play at the goal line, gets in the end zone, extends the play on his birthday, gets the touchdown. Tied at 17-17. Now, you have to excuse me. I'm live reacting to the game. Maybe I'm not getting the timeline exactly right, but hey, I like the live reactions. They're fun. But now, when it's 17-17, I'm still on old Raiders defense mode, right? Just like everybody else. You ever notice when the Raiders would go up, would tie the game, you'd already add the touchdown from the next team to it? It almost like you'd be handicapping the Raiders game like a Vegas odds maker. You'd be like, okay, the Raiders just tied the game up. Let's give the other team a touchdown now and then try to go from there. Like, because you just knew it, right? They'd run all over your defense. They made it tough on Lamar. They made it tough. That defense pitched a shutout for a while in the second half, and I liked it. It was great. It was great. I thought Jonathan Abram made some nice plays in that game. Denzel Perryman made some nice tackles in the game. KJ Wright on 4th down? Are you kidding me? KJ Wright earlier in the game had a play where on Sammy Watkins where he was trying to beat KJ Wright to the I know I'm off on the timeline here, but KJ Wright had a play. I didn't want to get over this where Sammy Watkins beat him to the edge, and I thought KJ he ran like he was KJ White, but KJ Wright looked like he was chafing, like he needed some Gold Bond, like when you run with the wide legs, kind of like you're trying to get a wedgie out of your ass. And I was like, holy shit, what KJ Wright did we just get there? Then KJ Wright blows up a run play on 4th down on Tyson Williams. Boom, right? Redeems himself. And yes, Josh Jacobs ties the game. Thank you for reminding me that. Just another DJ. Thank you for reminding me that. Josh Jacobs, fantastic run. Given what he's gone through this week with the illness, with the toe and stuff, that's tough. That was a tough run, but it was a great crafty run by Jacobs. Again, he doesn't have that top end speed, but he was even cutting on that big toe because Jacobs is all about cuts and power. That's what he's all about. Timing, cuts, gracefulness, and power. That's what he does. And that was a great run to tie that game there. And it was Waller, right, for the next touchdown. That's correct. So you got that right. But yeah, I mean, man, where do we even go from here? Towards the end, let's get to the end of the game here. I'm not going to make this a long live stream. Towards the end of the game, wild last possession, right? Ravens go up by 3 points. Lamar has that crazy scramble to get him in the field goal range, and we all get that sinking feeling in our stomach. We think this is going to end on a Justin Tucker field goal. Raiders are going to try to get a little something going on their last drive, but it's not going to work. Raiders get the ball back. I think it was under 50 seconds. 27-24. Two fantastic play calls by John Gruden to get the Raiders a good intermediate passes to Bryan Edwards. Bryan Edwards had some huge plays in this game. Early in the game, I thought he was struggling against man coverage. Thought he couldn't really get quite open. Carr was giving him some 50-50 chances. It just wasn't there. But Bryan Edwards found the middle of the field twice. Great plays. Got up, spiked it. Daniel Carlson, absolute rocket to tie the game. This is a good kicker, man. Daniel Carlson is a good kicker. Ice in his veins. Because that was a tough kick. What was that, 55 yards? Bombed it. Would have been good from 58, 59 probably. So then you have in overtime, right? A couple plays that really stuck out in overtime. Okay, the Raiders get the ball. They're driving. They're running. Again, this short passing offense with Gruden, I like it, and I think we need to hammer it a little bit more. These 50-50 balls down the field, I'm not sure these wide receivers are there yet. But the short routes to Renfro, to Edwards, couple to Ruggs too. But Carr, I'm sorry, rewind. I'm all over the place here. I'm sorry. In the fourth quarter, was it the fourth quarter or overtime? What was the one to Ruggs? Somebody tell me in the chat. The one to Ruggs, that deep cross to Ruggs. Carr, that was the best throw of the night, I thought, to Carr. That Carr made was just dropping it in the bucket to Ruggs to get them down. Maybe that was on the Jacobs run. That was before. I wanted to make sure we didn't miss that because Ruggs had a tough night, I thought. A couple nice plays, but a couple times where he couldn't differentiate man from zone. And there was that. That was one of the best ones. But late in the game, Bryan Edwards gets him there. They get the field goal. Then it's overtime. Raiders are streaking down the field in overtime. And it's looking good. It's looking fantastic. Right? We think we win the game. Bryan Edwards, we think we win the game. Now, for me, I got excited. I got a screech. Okay, so that led to the Waller score. The Ruggs was to the Waller score. Again, I'm improvising on the fly. Thank you guys. Appreciate it. You guys are more coherent than I am. But Bryan Edwards, that back shoulder throw. First, I was like, did he get his foot in bounds when he first caught the ball? Bryan Edwards makes a guy miss. I was like, okay, we got to review that. I just want to make sure he got his feet in bounds on the initial catch. I'll take whatever happens at the 1 yard line. Whatever, that's fine. Then we get 1st and 10 at the 1. Everybody's celebrating, going crazy. I'm like, oh, man. Gruden, just absolute alpha, is like, nah, man, this ain't over. Everybody's celebrating except Gruden. I loved it. Then Alex Leatherwood. Let's talk about Alex Leatherwood for a second. Alex Leatherwood false starts on the 1 yard line in overtime. That's a tough play. Shouldn't have happened. Not good. But I thought Alex Leatherwood held his own. He got beat a couple times. This is a tough call for a rookie in his first game, and it was not a disaster. This was not Colton Miller in England against the Seahawks. We all remember that. I'm not going to expand on that anymore. Somebody saying thought Bryan Edwards was in. I did, but just my Raider brain was like, nope, he wasn't in because it's the Raiders. You know, like, I don't know if that makes any sense to anybody. Like, people are like, I thought Bryan Edwards was in. Like other teams, yeah, he was in. For me, I'm like, nah, they're gonna make this tough on us. I don't know. I'm just like that. It's weird. Maybe I'll lay down on a psychiatrist couch and talk to a psychiatrist one day about what the Raiders did to me in that regard. But yeah, he wasn't in. Alex Leatherwood false starts. Alex Leatherwood had a tough game, but I also thought he had some really good plays on certain runs. Did well in pass protection on certain things. We'll see what the all 22 guys say about this, but I thought he did a nice job. I thought he did. False start was tough though. Oh my God, making that 1st and goal from the 6 yard line. That's tough. So tough. I mean, the playbook changes, right? You can't run Jacobs from the 1 anymore. I didn't think they were going to, but you got to pass. So let's fast forward here. They run a fade to Renfro, which I thought was such a wasted play. I'm like, what the hell's going on? And then all of a sudden, the Willie Snead play. Every Raider fan knows this. It's the sick to your stomach play. There's a few in this game. which was so wild about it. But that Willie Snead play was a sick to your stomach. Now, your narrative's going to decide who got this play wrong. I like the way Derek Carr plays. Now, he did put a little too much zip on that ball. It didn't have to happen. He was under pressure, right? So he's gonna probably put a little zip on that ball. I need that ball caught, but I get it. Willie Snead. I need that ball caught, but I get it. Guys like Willie Snead's probably been in the league at least 6 to 8 years, I would say. I need that ball caught. That ball doinks off, boom, 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 right to the dude with the purple dreads. Yeah, I know, right? Former team. I didn't even think about that. Ravens, Willie Snead, former team. Crazy. But ball doinks off. As soon as that ball went in the air, I'm like, that's picked. It's just, you know, when people say when you die, your life flashes before your eyes. The entire game flashed before the eyes when that ball was in the air to the Ravens defender. Chariots of fire. Music playing in the background. I'm like, all right, yeah, that's getting picked. Okay, great. And all of a sudden I aged 10 years when that happened. Raider brain kicks in. My Raider brain kicks in. We're going to lose this game, right? Everybody thought that. If you didn't think that, you're insane. You're insane if you thought that the Raiders were going to lose that game at that point. Credit to the defense, played their ass off. Jonathan Abram had the underrated play of the game when the Ravens got the ball back. Poking that ball out on Mark Andrews, because that was a first down, and Jonathan Abram pokes it out. Hell of a play. I thought there was one time tonight where I thought Jonathan Abram looked bad, and that was early in the game on a Lamar Jackson scramble. Other than that, I thought he made some really nice plays. Really nice plays, some loud hits, but he wasn't reckless. And I want to see him grow in this Gus Bradley scheme, because that was a hell of a play to get that ball out on the incompletion. And then the next play, LGBT hero, Carl Nassib pokes that ball out. Strip sack. That's that 2016 Raiders shit. That's that Bruce Irvin. Haven't got home all day, but I'm going to strip sack. Right? But Carl Nassib actually had some nice rushes on the game. I'm not going to lie. He filled in nice for Yannick Ngakoue. Got that ball out. And then what the hell happens, right? Raiders get it around the 26-yard line. I want to say 26, 27-yard line. They run. Second down, John Gruden wants to kick a field goal while the play clock's running down. And I'm like, oh, my God, you're insane. You need to be in a mental hospital in a straitjacket like the Joker. What is happening? You're insane. Gets ahead of himself. I don't know what happens. All of a sudden, I'm like, okay, it's like 2nd and 14. We need to get like 7 yards here before I start feeling comfortable about a Daniel Carlson field goal while the Ravens can still ice him. Carr gets a blitz put on him by Wink Martindale. Wink Martindale, that sounds like a male strip club, by the way. Wink Martindale. I don't know about that name. Let's just be real. But all of a sudden, Carr on his back foot against the blitz. You have Zay Jones. Look behind me right here. Look behind me if you're watching on YouTube. Zay Jones, wide open in the end zone. That's it. Raiders win. Fantastic game. Fantastic game. That's a win. Electric win. Couple thoughts before I go. Defensive line. Interior pressure wasn't quite there. Max Crosby, Yannick Ngakoue, Carl Nassib whipped ass on the edge all night. If it was not Lamar Jackson at quarterback, the Raiders get 5 to 6 sacks in this game. I don't even know how much they had. They probably had 3 or 4 in the game. But there was some, I think like next week, if they can get this type of pass rush, they will sack Ben Roethlisberger 4 to 5 times. Now, Ben's going to get rid of the ball a little earlier because he's a veteran and is 97 years old and doesn't want to take hits. He's going to get rid of the ball earlier. But if it wasn't for Lamar Jackson, the Raiders would have got the quarterback on the ground a lot. And that is encouraging because if you've listened to this show, I was scared of the Raiders defensive line. Tier says, Phylon needs more burn. I could not agree more. Darius Phylon just has that twitch that you want. Is that twitch in the middle. Gerald McCoy got hurt in the game. I'd like to see an update on that injury. So we'll see what happens there. Wide receivers are going to need to beat these DBs, because if I am an opposing defensive coordinator, I am going to be pressing Brian Edwards and Henry Ruggs. I am pressing them. I don't care what my scheme is, pressing them. Waller's a beast, man. Waller's a beast. I expect Devin Bush and Minkah Fitzpatrick to be on Waller duty next week, and that's going to be a fun matchup. Let's get some Foster Moreau going next week. How about that? But, and I don't expect the Raiders to be able to handle the Pittsburgh defensive line next week. It's going to be tough. It's going to be tough. The offensive line scares me. I won't lie. And I think it took Carr about a full half of football to be like, okay, I don't have the same offensive line as last year. I need to do a little bit different stuff. Because there were times where I would see Carr take a snap, and I've never seen him do this. If you've ever seen him do this, let me know, where he has taken a snap and just bailed out of the pocket immediately. I like it. I like it. When you know you don't have any time, get out of there. See what happens. And I expect the pass rush to get home for the Steelers next week. It'll happen. It'll happen. It's gonna be a grind. It's gonna be a grind. But that's all I got for tonight, guys. That's all I got for tonight. I got a construction schedule, so anybody that works manual labor knows that though we get up before the rooster even knows it. And yeah, that's it for me. This is Rock Vegas. I'm Glen Rockney. That was an incredible game. I was going to do a podcast tomorrow, but I just couldn't wait. I could not wait. Hopefully usually I have my shit together. I don't have my shit together. So I was all over the place. If I missed a few things, I'm sorry. This was just a live reaction to the game. Shout out everybody for staying up with me tonight. I will upload this to the Rock Vegas stream, YouTube and everything like that. So it'll be on the podcast if anybody missed it. But yeah, this was a live reaction about 10 o'clock on the West Coast here. So shout out to everybody. Everybody have a good night. All right. Peace.